Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today. Gonna be a little bit of Skellige, a little bit of Crach. Now this is a deck that you've probably seen already. I have showcased it in videos before, but I haven't played games with it and, shown how it actually performs. It's quite similar to a Crach Olaf Heim list I was playing earlier, but not quite the same. And yeah, I haven't had too many new deck ideas recently. There's going to be all sorts of new stuff coming soon to talk about in videos and to experiment with once the patches come out and all that. New leaders, card changes, all that sort of thing. So dev stream tomorrow. I'll of course break that down for you guys when that happens. But for now, we're going to be looking at this deck. Pretty straightforward Crach wild boar list with some spears, some long round stuff, and just general good cards that should allow you to be winning long rounds pretty easily, and even short ones. I was playing it a lot on stream today, actually. Managed to get to rank 3, I know that's not impressive, but haven't been playing too much, and this deck was allowing me to climb fairly easily, so it's definitely a strong one, and has a lot of good tools available to it. I'm sure you are aware of that if you've been playing ladder at all. There's potentially quite a few Crachs around. So, what is the idea of the deck? Well, pretty straightforward. We have Crach for damage, the synergizes with Bloodthirst. We have Spears as well, which do the same. We have some Bloodthirst cards. Not running Donar in this list. Some versions are, but I'm running Svanrigger, the Pirate Captains as well, of course, and Uldarik for all that juicy Bloodthirst value. And then, of course, the finisher is Wild Boar of the Sea. Gains a lot of value when you're damaging all your opponent's units. Typically, the gameplay loop with this deck is just damage some stuff down, so it's damaged but not dead, of course. And then, yeah, play all your stuff out, and then finish with Wild Boar of the Sea. We have other tools to close out rounds. Not only that, you have Unicorn Chironex, of course. Geralt Professional finds really good value because you're able to line their units up at a strength that matches, what he needs to be hitting. You have Blue Dream as well, which, you can kill units and then usually get a pretty damn good resurrection, maybe even on Unicorn or Chironex from the opponent. Svanrigger is a very nice finisher. 11 points isn't bad at all, when you've got that Bloodthirst enabled. And Burner Bran, of course, provides some tempo as well, as Deran, Witches, all the regular Skellige stuff there. Bronze Core does, of course, include Skirmishers, Skalds, Bears, Pirate Captains and Marauders, which are all pretty standard in Skellige lists. The Captains work really well with Crach, and of course Marauders plus Spears are a very nice synergy. You can play a Spear before your opponent has played anything, kind of wait it out, and then get full Marauder value and not rely on RNG to decide where its damage goes. So that's all pretty nice. Can thin all the way to 0 in some situations, so be wary of that. I have been milled before by things like Cantarella, Tibor from the opponent, but this deck, yeah, it performs very well, very consistent. A lot of points in long rounds, and in short rounds can put up a fight, of course, with Blue Dream, Geralt, Unicorn Chironex, etc. So, with that being said, let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Okay, going to be up against Mr. Brouver, the gnome himself, or rather dwarf. But okay, pretty important to remember to use Crach all the time. I've been failing at that occasionally, so gotta remember to do that. In terms of mulligan here, we often want to get rid of cards that are gonna really be nice to throw away with Duran later. So Savage Bear can be one of those. The rest of the hand we're probably okay to keep because we don't want to brick any Witches. We'll likely want to play them this round to get them out of the hand. Playing one Spear is fine, having the second for later, although against Brouver probably they will get removed. They tend to have a lot of artifact removal with Ida, Sappers, Call of the Forest to guarantee them, etc. So won't get too much value from that stuff, I don't imagine. But even without the Spears, this deck can definitely find points. It's not too much of a struggle. Was winning a lot of games even when artifact removal was involved, so that's good. Red coin is, of course, pretty nice. We don't have Marauder in hand to sort of punish that further, but just the flexibility it gives us is very cool. So we could definitely start with Spear. It will most likely be removed, but if it doesn't, then of course we want to get it down as soon as possible. And as we're always going to do, we're just going to damage a couple of units. Make sure we get as much Wild Boar value as possible if it comes down to that later in the round. Can actually be using this round 1, but usually only if it's going to win you the round on even. Otherwise, you'd probably rather save it for later, I think. Definitely one of your finisher, you know, power plays. Although, of course, it's going to get weaker in shorter rounds. It's pretty obvious. But apart from that, we can definitely be playing Skald this turn, Pirate Captain, Svanrigger maybe as well, Witches, of course. And we might want to also try to control the elves. Here we could go with the Witches. That'll free up the ability to kind of play Skald. You don't want to play Skald before Witches come out, because you could brick yourself, basically. We'll hit Witcher there. Maximize the wild boar value. We might decide to kill elves to block Aileron. We'll see how easy that is to do. It might not be possible, but it might be a good idea, depending on what the opponent plays. And other than that, I mean, we'd love to see a nice blue dream target. Not any on the board right now. So we could probably play captain here. I kind of like getting it down in this round. Don't necessarily want it later on. And I think we're going to kill the elves here to try to brick the Aileron. Probably more valuable than getting, you know, an extra point or two on wild boar. We might not even want to play it this round. I think killing elves is a good bet, because most likely they're going to have synergy cards with it. Isengrim, Yavin, etc. Panther's not really a problem. We can just definitely keep up the tempo now. I think Skald is good. It will give us more options. Discarding Morkvarg, of course. We can go ahead and shoot the Panther there. Another captain available, so we can probably get rid of that this round. It's pretty important to find Duran, of course, because that's going to thin out your deck a lot. But you don't necessarily need it. If you just find all your good cards without him, then that's also perfectly acceptable. We've got to make sure we win round 1 though, because otherwise Brouver with Shiru is very, very powerful, very scary in round 3, so the objective is just to win here and go straight to round 3 probably. Might even be a trap version of Brouver, you never know. Playing Eorveth and doing all those shenanigans later in the round. If it's that version, then you definitely want to bleed them, right? So having that information would be quite nice, but either way, we're winning on even at the moment, which is of course pretty good news. And Ifrit will be quite a nice target, I think, for Blue Dream if there's nothing else. Solid 8-point card, not too bad. Here I think we're pretty happy to take Geralt, professional value actually, because he's kind of hard to get value from in Squirtle matchup. Of course, don't forget to play Crach, get all the points. And we're just going to try to push a win on even if possible. We might end up using Wild Boar to do that. Depends if he finds ways to buff his guys up or not. This card can be very strong in these long rounds, of course, so if we're able to go for that, we probably will. We might not need it though. We can definitely play Svanrigger instead, if that's needed. And yeah, all in all, putting up a lot of pressure. Of course, when they don't have artifact removal, Spear becomes very, very threatening. Synergizes with the deck in a big way and pushes a lot of points as well. So that's pretty nice. Looks like he's in a bit of a tricky spot. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited for the new dev stream, you know, and announcements that will come tomorrow. That'll be really great to hear about. It's going to be a pass there, interestingly. So I suppose he is going to take the kind of last opportunity to not lose a whole card, you know, from me dry passing here. Instead, going to, you know, try to stay ahead in round 2, I suppose. We can actually play this round here if we want to do that. Just to try and get extra cards from him or his good stuff. Either way would be quite nice. So here we probably want to get rid of a captain. Marauder's definitely a good card for later. I don't really want it in hand right now, if we are going to be pushing, which I think I want to play Burner to do some thinning, guarantee some more options, and potentially get a card from him. Of course, by playing a card here, we're not actually shortening the round 3 at all, because we can still take a pass, you know, now and effectively have a 10-card round still. So we don't shorten round 3 at all, but we do force him to kind of keep up in tempo or lose a whole card. So works quite well for us. I think if we're a whole card up plus a 10-card round, there's not much the opponent's going to be able to do to actually win, hopefully. Even with artifact removal, it might not be enough. So of course we want to find Unicorn. That'd be really good to get some nice finisher value with Unicorn Chironex. We already have quite a lot of power in our hand, but even more would never hurt, right? We'll see what his response is. 10 points is quite a lot to get. If we get Brouver charges, that's also pretty damn good. Effectively, will be carry over for next round.
They can hide.
Most likely we're just going to take a pass here. I think that works quite well. We just get a nice card. I mean, he even has to commit more than 4 points, which shouldn't be difficult, but can't drop just a Dragoon or something to win. Has to actually play an Archer or whatever else. And now we'll just take the long round with card advantage. Last say should be pretty straightforward. These are kind of the dream situations as Crach. You don't get them too often, but when this happens, the deck is really able to shine and just shut down the opponent's dreams and hopes. But Shiru is pretty powerful in the long round as well, so the opponent potentially has that to rely on a little bit for comeback potential or whatever. See what it's going to be. Lots of roping happening. Lots and lots of roping. Oh! They are actually going to play a Dragoon. That's interesting. And a Brouver charge. Well, okay. Really, really happy with that result. Not too bad. Little couple of points he won't have in round 3. Very nice. And yeah, okay. Not looking too bad. So we do have probably more bears than we want. We would be interested in finding Duran because it will enable bear to be stronger. But at this point we don't need it. It would be okay to have, I suppose. Probably we will mulligan bear all the same though. At the same time, maybe just keeping this is fine. We don't really lose anything for keeping it. We've got all the cards we need, right? Unicorn Chironex, all the finisher value and everything else. So I think we should be fine. We don't really want the Scald or anything else, right? Just be kind of a waste. We'll lose points if we mulligan, I think. Okay, it's going to be a one Dragony boy. I think we're fine to just immediately play Marauder. I'm pretty happy to hit this. Because, you know, that's uninteractable strength, and it will make sure that we can Wild Boar for value there if he doesn't boost it up. So I think just taking the immediate Marauder is good. Of course, Spear we can't use on that Synthesis. Not really that much point playing it immediately, because we could have done that, but I valued the damage on this immune unit.
Smile at, weapons laugh to scorn.
Alright, so now we can just deal with the Swordmaster if we want to play Savage Bear. I think we do. A little bit worried about artifact removal coming down, and that would kind of deny our kill onto it. So I think by just playing the bear, that's a safe kill, and then we can develop Spear after that and not lose out on points, even if the opponent has artifact removal. And of course we're interested in enabling a Bloodthirst, probably playing Ifrit as well. Looks like he's going to boost this. The Unicorn. It's only 4 points, so no Chironex in hand. Good information to have. And we can actually kill this Unicorn and then hopefully get extra value on the Blue Dream. That'll be really nice if we can. Definitely play Spear here, shoot the Unicorn. We can maybe kill it with Pirate Captain or Wild Boar of the Sea, depending on how things play out. We of course want to try to keep a few Bloodthirst damaged units around so that we can get the value on our other cards. Doesn't make sense necessarily to kill damaged units super quickly. Alright, just going to be an Archer. It's not too much of an issue. So here, what are we going to do? Well, I think we just continue damaging stuff down to 2. We can actually play Unicorn here, and I think we will. The reason is, if we're taking Unicorn from his graveyard, we only need Chironex in hand, right, to get the value from that. Unicorn, we can just make as a really nice 12-point play. I also don't think we'll get 12 points of value from the Chironex, just because he's not likely to have many big units, right? That's the thing about Scoia'tael. Apart from Vanguards, they usually don't have very tall things that you can deal with. Also the reason for playing professional earlier in the game, of course. Worth thinking about. So next turn we have probably Svanrigger online or Udarik, Pirate Captain, whatever. Whatever needs to be played. And the opponent's already behind in points, which is not a good look when you're also down a card. Probably got him. Although we'll see if there's something that he can do. Gonna be Ciaran, alright. So I think we can definitely just play Pirate Captain. We don't really miss out too many points. And just get the value from that, I guess. We might lose a point here technically, instead of using this on something else, but I don't really mind. I think it's fine. Honestly, we can probably afford to not completely min-max points and still win, right? Due to the card advantage we got from winning on even. And getting the card in round 2. Udalric. Not too bad, 6 points, but of course he can be used to set up the Bloodthirst or the Wild Boar if you need to. Here won't be too impactful, but I'm sure it'll be okay. This opponent's roping out every turn, it seems like. Fair enough. Gotta do all the thinking, I suppose. Probably go with Svanrigger next turn or Udaric and save these kind of three cards for the end. Gonna be playing Shiru already. That's kind of surprising, to be honest. I'm a little bit scared of Scorch, maybe, but he'd have to set it up. That might be kind of difficult to do. So of course, just take the value on that Shiru, and then I think Svanrigger's the play. He might be able to line our guys up. It's potentially possible, but unlikely, I think. And Udaric can allow us to disrupt any kind of Scorch plans he might have. Of course, Brouver can't align a 10 and 11, only 2 damage available on that. Could be something like a Yerden available, I suppose, which would be kind of annoying, but we are significantly ahead right now, so that's fine. And with Shiru, the usual kind of finisher down, then I don't think there's too much of an issue, right? Alright, gonna be moving that Svanrigger. Finally pronouncing his name correctly, which is nice. Just call him, didn't know what he was called before, Svanridge or whatever, but now I know. And that's going to be a Geralt. So I think we're happy to just play Udaric here, fire off some of the charges, set up more, you know, Bloodthirst units, whatever. In fact, we can kill Ciaran, I guess. That might even deny elves coming out, probably not, but this is fine. We might technically be losing some points there, but I don't think it matters too much.
Yes, one.
Got Wild Boar of the Sea now, of course, to clean up everything, and then the rest is history. Of course, we should damage this first. Bada bing, bada boom, and then Blue Dream's going to be absolutely crushing. And we're already miles ahead in points, so I don't think there should be too much difficulty there. Yeah, opponent's going to tap out there. Very good stuff. I don't think that was even relatively close, to be honest. We just kind of crushed that opponent. If there's no artifact removal, spears are really going to carry you hard, and if there is artifact removal, you're often going to be okay anyway. Anyway, guys, I'm only going to do one game today. Unfortunately, don't have enough time to record more, but either way, I'll be back tomorrow with more videos and stuff. Hope you enjoyed this one. Lots of juicy leaks incoming, I'm sure. And yeah, do subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.